You have to protect and preserve this body. For this body is the temple.
Your body is a temple. And like the construction of any building, it takes intentional time, energy, and effort to build it. So each day of life is another day of opportunity to rise above the ashes of yesterday and rebuild yourself. This is our redemption.
Peace, family. It's your brother Sean X. Let me ask you a question. What's your daily redemption? Redemption is the act of bringing something back from where it's fallen. So you lost something, you get it back. And if we look at the way most of us have been living, most of us have been living a culture of death. You've been doing more dying than living. If you're eating poisonous food, if you're still eating fast food, if you're drinking, if you're smoking, you know, a lot of these habits that I've had myself, like I used to smoke like 3-4 blunts a day. You gotta have the one in the morning, you gotta have the one in the midday to make it through the day, and you gotta have the one at the end of the day to kind of calm down. One thing Minister Farrakhan teaches is that, you know, when you have knowledge and you don't use that knowledge starts to work against you. So as you feed that voice of God within your head, that people call it consciousness, but when you feed that truth within your head and, you know, you're still taking the action that you know is not the best action, what happens is that you start to almost fight against yourself, whether you realize it or not, consciously or subconsciously. For me, you know, I kept feeling like I know I want to stop, and I at least want to calm down. But it becomes a challenge, more of a challenge for you the more you know the danger and the damages of what's in it, how it's weakening your mind, how it's slowing down your reflexes, you know, how it's for me personally, I felt like my memory was going down. So I had to take an action. You know, one of my actions was to, all right, I'm not gonna have it around me as much. You feel me? I'm not gonna have it within my vicinity. So likewise, all of us have an area. Nobody's killing it in all areas. Like no matter how good they're looking, no matter how it's looking like, you know, people have it together, people are healthy and everything like that. We all have things that we have to work on for ourselves. But the question is, are you willing to take that challenge? Are you willing to take that first step? And it's not about conquering a mountain in one day, but it's about those little daily habits that start to build. Like when you look around this garden, let me show you all around a little bit. I mean, you can't see all of it. It's like 140 different herbs and vegetables we got out here. You know, when my mother moved down from New York and started, you know, of course she had like one little pot, one little bed. But over time, you know, building on it, you know, putting intentional time, intentional thought, research and studying, you know, giving time of yourself, naturally you start to build. So likewise, with the way that our temples have been broken down, physically, mentally, spiritually, morally, you know, a lot of us have a broken cause and effect. We can't even see, we can't even discern what's happening out here in the world right now. We're thinking that everything is cool and normal, but, you know, we're not understanding that we're under attack, physically, mentally, and spiritually. And why should I say under attack? The water is poison compared to how it was. The fruits and the vegetables, unless you're growing it yourself, a lot of that is poison. You know, a lot of us have broken willpower. We don't have the will to even start to want to get up, and your willpower is right here. Whether you want to call it pineal gland, you know, this is like the seat of control. This is the seat of your willpower. And for a lot of us, that's broken. You know, for a lot of us, we have no connection to spirit. We don't read anything. We don't study anything. We don't think it's important. We don't see the value in it. You know, part of that is because we've been given a lot of false teachings. Like when they brought the Bible to us, they brought it to us in slavery, and they made sure that, you know, it's documented that they had a lot of the black pastors. They said, teach the slaves this, turn your other cheek, focus on these principles. You know, when your slave master doesn't have pants, give you your pants. This is being a good Christian. You know, this is what they've taught us. We've been raised under a wicked ruler. But guess what? Now is the time for redemption. But it's only a time for redemption if we take those intentional actions to manifest that revelation, you know? So this is your time. So your question for you is, what is your redemption? What is your act of redemption? That's what we call your armor, ARMR, your acts of redemption to manifest your rise. You have to start with something. Even if you're trying to get active, build your body, commit to a little 50 push-ups a day, a little 100 push-ups a day, 25 sit-ups. It's not about conquering the mountain one day, like I said, but if you could take an intentional action and say, I'm going to commit to do 50 of these a day, you know, Then after 4 days, 5 days a week of doing that, what you'll find is that you're developing the mental habit. You're starting to get accustomed to that little dopamine hit to say, I did my little work for the day. I did my act of redemption for the day. So it doesn't matter how little or how much it is. It's not about the quantity, it's about the consistency. And that's how it is when it comes to training. That's how it is when it comes to anything you're trying to build. So grab the lowest hanging fruit, they say. You know, see what you can do in the area that you want to improve. So where you can take steps towards manifesting your rise. You feel me? But be blessed, family. We're going to talk more. Join the ARMR games. Tap in. Complete your 7 days. Level up. Start the 28-day challenge. It's how we build ourselves. We got to start with the physical. The most honorable Elijah Muhammad said we can't have guidance for the spiritual unless we first have guidance for our physical. So we have to know what we need to eat, what we not eat, what we need to not eat, what we need to do physically in this physical world to manifest our highest self. Because we are not a body, you're a spirit in the body. We are spiritual beings having a physical reality. So tap in, let's build, be good to somebody, be blessed. Peace, family.